history, we first compiled the Adi Granth, and it was not complete with all its teachings. It was the first compilation, and it contained a certain percentage of our teachings. And then in 1699, I may be off on the years, approximately around 1699, the Guru Granath Sahib was complete, and was then, when our 10th Guru passed away, the Guru Granath Sahib actually became our next Guru and our eternal Guru. So what that means is that we bow to it because we bow to the wisdom that's contained within it. And our goal as Sikhs is to work on ourselves so that we eventually resonate at the same frequency as the teachings that it contains. That's the goal. Each Sikh will have their own relationship with their teachings because at the very end of it, we all, like, while we're with community, it is still your own journey, right? Our own experiences, our choice to take the step forward or to take the step back, to turn to the side or not. So no two Sikhs, in my personal experience, have ever 100% agreed on everything, and I've yet to meet people who have an identical experience in practice. My experience has been there's similarities, but there are always differences. And so as Sikhs, we consider ourselves our own self-sovereign. So we are our own clerics. The Sakhi in 1699 was the point of the Sakhi 1699. Was that our clerical system, when it first began, we had women and men that were clerics. In the 1500s, we had the equivalent of 4 female bishops amongst the male bishops that we had. And that's the equivalent of, just to get a sense of like how developed the region had become. And by 1699, though, enough of them had become corrupt where they were interfering in a Sikh's ability to directly connect with creation. So the ego was there, people do it for me, limitations by those clerics. So that whole system was scrapped. It was like, nope, we're going to reaffirm the direct connection between us and creation, and now each of us will be our own cleric. We don't need someone else in order to interface with creation. So that was before the British came. Because post-colonization, all of a sudden we've got an angry male god that has shown up in our English translations. And I was looking at the one that was in the booklet. And so one of the hacks that we have, like the tricks to kind of really make a quick shift, our teachings are actually written as personal conversations between the writer and creation. So if you just switch it to I and you, there is no gender worries. Because creation does not have a gender. A lot of the imagery, though, that we use, because Punjabi is like French, it has masculine nouns and feminine nouns, and so you have that flow, right, we refer to creation as mother, as father, as friend, as beloved, as the ocean, as the fire, as, like there's 36, I believe, different names for creation that are then repeated, approximately 15,000 times. So the Guru Granath Sahib is made up of over 1,400 pages. It contains the writing of 6 of our Gurus, and then 36 additional people from different faiths, different cultural backgrounds, different socioeconomic backgrounds. So it is very diverse, and it's that diversity that we sit down, or we bow to. And that understanding that we're not the only ones, and look at all, like look where, all these other faiths and cultures, they also have these very same values. And so there are 6,000 shabads or stanzas in it, and it's also all set to music. So it's not just what we're saying, it's how we say it. So in India, the science of music is called, like they're called classical rags. And each rag has its own set, like, I guess score is the right word to say, And some are morning rag, some are late morning, early afternoon, late afternoon, evening. So there's like this very vast science. And so in the Guru Granath Sahib itself, a particular section, you'll see the rag that it has actually been set to. So we have the opportunity to sing and those teachings in that rag, or there's a lot of folk music and folk style also that has been the teachings have been adapted to. However, music is a really big part of who we are, we spend over 1,400 pages exploring just that one first line in our teachings, and we call it our Guru. And I describe it as, it's our thesis statement. And so, if we spend over 1,400 pages with, 42 different writers, right? 6,000 shabds, that should kind of give an idea of how diverse and kind of, these iceberg concepts, and that there's so many different ways to look at it, so therefore, each of us is going to resonate with something different. We can read the same shabd, it'll mean something different though, based on where we're at in our understanding and where we're at in our own personal lives. So what I wanted to do was share that Mool Mantra with you, and then have an experience of it, because I think it's really easy to stay in our heads. It's really safe too, right? To be intellectual, to be reasonable. So what happens is we stay here. However, the problem that comes with that is that unless we're feeling it in our body, we're not actually building a true neighborly relation or a true connection with one another until it goes beyond the head and it drops into our heart and into our essence of who we are as people. So what I want to do is share with you each one's meaning, and then I'm going to pick a few. And I want to do a style of meditating that I grew up with. So it's where, using our breath, we then chant the word, right? And typically I grew up with, it was a sentence, Vaheguru, which means wow is the amazing deliverer from darkness to light. It's one of our words for creation. And so I grew up with that as a kid, like that's what we chanted, right? And we've combined it into a word, into like this one word, but it is a sentence. And when you break it down and really sit with each one versus the mindless, right, chanting of something, it has a very different effect. So I wanted to use that technique of breathing, and I'll have a background rag actually playing while we do so. And what we'll do is I'll, after I've gone through and just giving you all the words that are in the Mool Mantra, what I next want to then do is we'll pick the first one, we'll sit with its meaning, go within, and what does that mean to you? And then we will chant it together. And then you get to sit and just be with it, be with that particular aspect of creation, because Mool Mantra is the it's like the traits of creation, and because we are a part of creation, and this is also who we are, and we get to have our own relationship, right, with these aspects. And then I just want to acknowledge that as a community, like, we are struggling with colonialism and its baggage, and yeah, it's 2019, and fair enough, the British left, I think it was in 47, if I got my date right. It's not quite always so easy to just drop. Well, they're gone now, and yeah, they're gone now. Most who were there in 47 are probably dead or dying. I get that. It's just that the patriarchy that was then put in, the separation of male and female, our faith, and I've been talking with Sikhs about this. I'm like, did it ever, it's not occurring to us. Our first Guru was Guru Nanak, and our first Sikh who started Sikhi was his sister. So brother and sister helped birth him. Our langar that we talk about, and everybody's like, wow, you feed all these people. Well, Guru Nanak Dev Ji started it, and his student, Mata Kili, she's the one who developed it to its modern day format. So it was teacher and student. And our initiation ceremony was between husband and wife, our 10th Guru and his wife. So we have these key pivotal practices that have, survived colonialism, And we didn't quite clue in that it was a partnership. It was never done by just one gender. So that partnership, it's about reclaiming of that. So I'm like, we really need to go back and learn our pre-colonial history, a lot of which has been eliminated. But if we go back to that, you know, we were an empire at that point, and I don't agree with the empire part. However, it became an empire because there was a woman who, she was, and I'm not going to remember her name at the moment, but she was Maharaja Ranjit Singh's mother-in-law. And she realized the British were coming, and she was like, if we don't unite, they will gobble us up. So she's the one who united all the Sikhs. Her son-in-law sat on the throne of that, but he didn't unite them. And so you can see the fact that he hadn't done that hard work in his rule. There's things he did well, and there are things that he did not do well. And unfortunately, it didn't last past long after his death. You know, and I think it was 1857, or 1849, sorry, was when I believe Punjab fell. So don't quote me on the dates. I'm like, you know, thinking back to what I've read, and so around that time, we were one of the last regions to fall under the East India Company's rule. And so with them came, we had a robust education system. We spent way more money on our education system than the British did at all throughout their history. And they dismantled all our schools. It was like one of the first things they really took care of. Education was mandatory for all girl children. Our literacy rate was like over 90% within the empire. Our youngest female prime minister was 16. And by 22, she had, and that was back in the 1700s, and she had fought off 2 British armies by the time she was 22 and had won. So I look at all of that, and then you look at where we've dropped to post-colonizing, and it's like, what I tell Sikhs is, look, you got a choice. You can have those ghosts and be caged by what they've done, because like I said, they're dead or dying, or you can go back and to an earlier, more robust time. Because I'm not willing to let 100 years, you know, give or take, be able to dictate where we're going to go. So our challenge is we're not literate. Punjabi is a language that since India was formed, remember the country never existed, right? It was always a subcontinent full of empires and kingdoms. So there's a huge struggle. We're a minority in India, and very strong Hindu nationalist movements similar to white nationalism. It's not any different. They're not tolerant of people who are not of their background. So I don't have a favorable image of Gandhi, just so you're aware, because I remember him as the guy who broke his word, right? Sikhs were supposed to be equal partners in the creation of India and its constitution and what it was supposed to be. And once we got India, he was like, don't need you anymore. Sayonara. So there are struggles. And the loss of our language is huge. Most Punjabis coming out of India, they know how to read English and Hindi. Not Punjabi very well, so they can't access their teachers. So these are some of the things that we're in the process of working through. And practicing inspired resilience. That's a key teaching for us. It's called Jandi Bula. It is what helps us move through the difficulty. Like, we come across as robust, and it's like, fair enough, but it takes work. It's not just an accident that we go through these awful things and then start to move forward out of the darkness. So with that said, I want to share with you these key teachings. And like I said, it's like our thesis statement, right? So the first one is Ek Olamkai. And it means you are the one creator, sustainer, and maker. Next is Satnam. Truth is your essence. Kartapur. You are the creator of the universe. Nirbal, you are without fear. Nirvad, you are without hate. Akal Murit, you have infinite manifestations. Ajunni, you are without physical form, beyond birth and death. Sehbam, you are self-illuminated. Gurprasad, you are realized through your grace. So these are like quick translations. These are iceberg words, and I'm not able to do them justice, I'll be honest. But to give you just a sense, so if you're looking at any translations from the Guru Granath Sahib, switch it to IU. You'll get a much deeper, intimate sense of what those teachings actually mean.